Good morning. I'm Galen Wilson. This is my lovely wife Heather, and we're here to give you directions on how to install the UPS unit. First of all, you're probably going to want to come up with something like this. These units weigh 142 pounds and are not easy to move around. I went to Home Depot, bought a $20 furniture cart, found out it was just a little bit low, so I went back and had them cut a 1x4 into 30-inch strips and then screwed it to the top of it. So this makes the whole job a whole bunch easier. You're using your brains instead of your brawn. Okay, so these things are heavy. We've already cut this one open. We take it and roll it onto its side. Kind of hold that interior flap, let it drop down. And then bring up the next flap. And then kind of keep it setting in there. And push it back a little bit. And pull out the foam. Now most of them you're going to find the foam has been busted to pieces on. But, okay. Now this particular unit is undamaged. Some of them will have a little plastic cover that has broken off, and I'll show you that cover in a minute. Okay, so let this roll down onto our piece of styrofoam. Stop right there. And this is where we get our handy little cart. Lay it down. And it's always best to wait till your helper's ready to help you, because I've sprained fingers on both hands trying to pull these things by myself. So we cover off, reach back to the back, pull it up onto your plastic, or onto your styrofoam, then roll it on over onto the ground, and then on over onto your, okay, that's the hard part. Okay, so now we've gotten our brackets out here and ready with our screws to put them in, and our network card that we've got to install. And so all we have to do to install that network card is pop this little cover here off. Slide the network card in place. Make sure it seats back in there. And put our screws back. Okay, and so then we'll come around up to here. Slide that puppy. Oh, I'll stop right here. Show you this little cover. This cover on quite a few of them have been broken off. We've been having better luck lately. It just slides up with little hooks and slides right in and drops right into place there. So oh, hang on. Better to have that hanging over the edge a little bit. Okay, and then also while you're at it, take this little guy off. We're reusing the old rails most of the places, so we don't want those on there because they don't want to go into the old rails very easily. Okay, so now we'll just repeat this on the other side, and then we'll be ready to move it into the server room. Well, alrighty then. Now we've moved everything. My camera lady's out laughing at me. We've moved everything into the ADP room. If you'll come back around here for a bit, most of the time these are plugged into the wall. In this case, this one's plugged into a power cord that goes up to the ceiling. So you just unscrew those a little bit and pull it apart, making sure you pay attention where the long one goes in. You'll be able to see the little L where that one goes in. Okay? So, now once we get that unplugged, then we can come around and find my drill. We're ready here? Okay. Now, let's go down, take the screws out of the old one. We reach through and slide that puppy out. And you'll see that we've got the little ears on it. So once we get it out far enough, we can rock it up. Now these don't weigh near what the new ones weigh, so we can generally find enough of a hole here to get them out of the way and pull the cable on through. Some of them will have this serial cable on them, most of them don't have it. Okay, so now we will roll our cart around with the new one. Feed the cable through to the back and slide it into place. Okay. Get our screws. Okay, we're going to probably have to pull this one back out a bit and put in a couple of the square nuts right behind here. Okay, so we've got our square nuts installed in the rack now. So we'll go ahead and push this back into place and get our screws, which these are the little big head screws that come in the package. Screw right in. Okay. Then we need to make sure that these little guys are kind of bent in a little bit and coming straight out, because when we get the cover goes in from this end, rocks around into place. Got to pop it from the bottom, pop it from the top. Now let's try that again. Come in from this end. Voila, it's in place. Okay, so now follow me around. We'll take our cord, again, match it up the one with the little L on it with the proper one, go together and turn it a little bit to where it locks into place. Now, come around, hit the right hand button, your lights on the right should come on, and the top light here come on, and in a little while the other lights, and some of the other lights will light up. Okay, this particular application, somebody had plugged the whole system into the wall outlet instead of their old UPS. So we're going to unplug that now and plug this in. Now, one thing I neglected, we also need to flip these three switches up. and then you'll hear the servers and everything whirring on. One thing I neglected to say earlier was when you arrive on site, you need to ask the site personnel for the name and phone number of their IT person and get in touch with them and have them do a organized shutdown of the Riverbed server. They want the Riverbed server shut down properly, and then they'll come back on a lot faster. Okay, so now we take our jumper cable, our patch cable, plug it in here, run it up through. And in this case, we've got a lot of open ports, so we'll just pick like port number 30 here. You just need to tell Concert Tech what port you've plugged it into. And now we'll go back and make our cables look pretty in the back. And you'll notice the lights on the server are starting to come on. These 2921 routers take 5-6 minutes to completely fully boot up. And when they do, you'll start seeing activity lights along the bottom in the switch blade here. Okay, so we've got our install done. Now we're getting ready to box up the old unit. We need to take a picture of this serial number here and send that to your Concert Tech project facilitator. Then pick the unit up, set it back in to the box. It fits nicely right into the existing styrofoam. You want to make sure the cord's at this end so you have room to wrap up the cord. You put your other pieces of styrofoam in, close the box up, tape it up. There is a return label in these boxes that you need to put on the box and then give the receipt to the POC on site, so they can call FedEx and have the boxes come picked up. Okay, so we're all wrapped up here. We've checked with the end users to make sure that they have email, intranet. Sometimes the internet does go down for 30 to 45 minutes for it to rebuild the router tables, so that's not unusual, but they need to have, especially their email and their Skype should be hooked up, and they should have visibility of their shared drives. So before you leave site, make sure all your users are working. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope it helps the job go a little smoother for you. Thank you very much. Okay, so we've put the network card in, so now we go ahead and make the final electrical connection by shoving this little guy in there. Then we should be able to push the on button. Now you won't see the lights come on here yet, but you'll hear the fan crank on. Go ahead. Okay, on a few of these units we've ran into a problem with the battery packs, and this is one of those units, and so we're going to show you here how to fix the problem. Just lift the little plastic cover up, get it kind of to where you're not going to break it off during the process. Take the 2 screws out here, and it will be a little quicker to go. Okay, this cover then slides to the left and swings open. And I've already checked both battery packs, so I know that it's this battery pack that's the problem. So you pull the cables out, you pull the whole battery pack out of the unit. Set it down, avoiding smashing fingers. There are 2 screws in the back here. And then you take your screwdriver, i.e. hammer, and tap it gently We'll get that to slide that way. And off comes the cover. Now I've already had that cover off once. So you can see if you take these off, these plastics protect all the connectors. And on this one, we found that this connector here was disconnected. Now on some of these, you're going to see these are bent up enough that you're going to have to straighten them out. And see, this one's not going to work that way either. So what we've got to do, because these have somehow gotten pulled out through that connector, we've got to take the connectors off, out through the front, and it's not easy. Okay, then we unsnap the connector, we straighten out the cord a little bit, we bring the connector back, kind of snap it back into place, you know, like 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch up the cable. And hang on. Okay, so okay, that wasn't working for me, so I needed to go get my little vice grips and squeeze that together a little tighter. And again, it's a little, you got to hold your mouth just right to get everything. And of course, I didn't have as much trouble on the last one when there wasn't a video camera on me. And you kind of got to get this started on that pin as you're moving this into place. And voila. So I've got this crimp down back in there. The connector's on good. I checked all the other connectors. They all seem fine. So now put a little plastic shields back in place. Then as you're putting this on, you need to squeeze the sides together just a little bit because they bow out. And these little L-shaped brackets need to fit into those slots on either side. Oh, got that. Okay, so once we have those all down in the things, we can take our screwdriver hammer, move it back into position. Put our screws back in place. Put the battery packs back in, and make sure they're both seated, and pull up the cables a little bit. Bring that back around into place. And this is another one of those things that takes a little bit of holding your mouth right to get it to slide back over. And then once it has, you put your 2 screws back in. Slide your cover back into place, and voila, your fix is made.